It was absolute madness on the timeline late last night, guys. I want to quickly apologize in my first response to CDL Intel involving Kenny being pretty outspoken around the issues of the LA Thieves and their changes. I had replied before there was a further clip where he further explained the situation. By the way, that thumbnail of the 4 starters LA Thieves have had during this season, 3 of whom have had the bench at one point or another. Of course, when it comes time for Kenny, that was COVID related, but LA Thieves, certainly when they returned to Call of Duty, I don't know if they saw these kind of issues, especially after stage 1 being a pretty solid result. Obviously, throughout stage 2, we have seen the struggles of this roster and the changes have continued to be made. It's utter madness, the roster changes going on, but you do got to respect from a certain standpoint. They see themselves struggling despite the overall standings. We are all well aware where they lie in stage 2, and they make some big changes. First of all, it was temp out, and you bring Venom in. Then it was actually Kenny who had some COVID-related issues. Best of luck in a full recovery. So Temp comes back in, and then it's Kenny actually back in, Temp back out, and of course now we got Draza in and Slasher out. Did I follow that timeline correctly? I'm not even sure. There have been so many changes as to why Octane goes 100 Thieves or LA Thieves just pulled a Thanos after dropping their Infinity collection, which I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a really solid tweet. But it brings you right back to last year where we saw some big names out there go to the benches, and it does make you curious, will Slasher spend the rest of his time on that bench? Because the difficulties we had in season 1 of CDL of making any player changes, once you went to the bench, you just stayed there the entire season. When it came time for actual roster changes, we saw like 1, maybe 2 involving OpTic in Florida. It really was not much, and it really became a prison sentence to be benched in the league. We will see if that does continue. Thanks to CDL Intel, I'm going to play for you guys what Kenny said. Even at one point, weeks back, he was saying, if the team wanted to improve, do I need to be traded or benched? Which, you know, at first, without the full context, I was like, oh, that's a bad look if he wants to be traded. With additional context, you find out he was doing so. If that's what it took to be a better team for LA Thieves, he had to be traded or benched, he was willing to do so. And also, I show you guys the clip from last season of Slasher, who said if this online era did continue, he would heavily consider retiring as long as it remained online.
As much as I don't even know if I can say this, but I'll say it. Like, I even asked to, like, be benched or traded like probably a few weeks ago, just because, like I said, I feel like us together was just not good. You know, we have so much talent and it's just not clicking. I guess I shouldn't have said it, but it's like people are blowing the trade thing. It wasn't like, yo, I went to them, I was like, yo, I want to be traded to a different roster. It was more so like, yo, what can we do to get this team to win? Do I need to be benched? Do I need to be off the team? Like, that was my point. It was a frustrating thing where it's like, bro, we suck as a team. What the needs to work? And that was the alternative. It wasn't like, yo, trade me to this roster. I didn't have a team in mind. I didn't even think of.
I will heavily consider retiring probably not forever, but until LAN comes back if next year's online. I can't put myself through this anymore. I can't continue to play, 10 hours a day to not even have a fair chance to like showcase my talent. It's one thing if you give it your all and you lose and you just weren't good enough, but it's another thing if you don't even get a chance to give it your all.
So we will see what LA Thieves are going to do. Obviously, some tough shoes to fill and a tough spot to be in when you're struggling throughout stage 2 and the meta and GAs are continuing to shift ever constantly, and some things still aren't in the game that really should be in the game. It's a difficult time. I really cannot imagine the stress of being a Call of Duty pro. Now, very lastly, we bounce back to this past weekend, guys. Whenever it's Empire versus OpTic, it seems to be an incredible series, and that beef that did exist throughout Season 1 of CDL seems to be just not there. It's actually been pretty prevalent for a guy like Crimsix to say he doesn't have beef with the OpTic boys so far this season. It's more so with the fans. If you guys remember the matchup where Empire actually Game 5 Round 11 to OpTic, it was Crimsix taking to Twitter to say he was actually referring to the fans, the OpTic fan base. Can they be friends again? Because he has no beef with Scump and the OpTic boys. He now doubles down as it's actually this time around OpTic bouncing back a complete swing, taking down Empire in a Game 5. Not so close of a Game 5 this time around. I mean, 06 map count last weekend. Yes, some of those maps were closer than the scoreboard did, tell, but OpTic came back strong.
Had the word there, redemption for Scump. Might not get that round 11, but a tense 1v1 there. Is Scump now on 3 in a row, just biding his time here inside the plane. We've been on checkmate for an hour.
Dallas, and just again in that last defense, just kind of picked apart. Something still off with their surge. We'll see if they can claw their way back into it. They go back to just sort of kind of a normal B round. They take down the trophy. There's another one there. Shotzzy though with the first blood.
Nice shots.
Able to take down Formal. Now just trying to regen. Gets into that position. And finds a QBC and says, adios.
Hello?
Hey, friend. Hey, Alboy, how you doing?
What's up, man? You've been a great
hanging out.
SMG duo. What are you doing?
A nice piece of wood there that you're standing next to.
Shotzzy working the plant, but Scump again. The man is popping off. 5 in a row. Crim, last man up. 1 versus 3. And he's down. 6-2 in the game 2, 6-1 in the map 5, and the search and destroy.
And afterwards, it was Crimsix taking to Twitter saying, GG's OpTic, Empire PSA here. We will pay for S&D lessons. If you think I shot OpTic players' bodies, you are mistaken. It was most likely pre-firing, and I have more respect for them as individuals than any of you wannabe dickwads who roast your own team to a pulp when they lose. And that obviously has been an ongoing discussion, not just for OpTic, who seems to have, the fan base swinging back and forth, but for all the top teams out there who have a larger fan base. You're going to experience that. Crimsix calling it out for what it truly is. Got to respect it. What do you guys think? LA Thieves certainly undergoing some struggles as the other teams bounce back and forth. What seems to be a coin flip every single series. Drink your wa, drink your ka. I'll catch you guys back here sometime soon. Take care.